The Fall Turf Festival at Gulfstream Park West. Our phones are turned off. We got it just barely turned off before we went on the air. Hi, Pete. Pete Aiello, track announcer, Ron Nicoletti, fast track firm turf course. Absolutely spectacular day here at South Florida, and nice day for racing.
Nice day for racing. Of course, a great feature race yesterday afternoon, the Gin Rummy Champ Stakes, won by the route speed horse Mellow Fellow on the cutback in distance, getting up to nail Full Moon's back with Moonwalker back third. Frustrating for me, as those were the three horses I used in my daily doubles and multi-leg tickets and could not deliver on the end of.
Well, we're going to show that race in a minute, but first we want to remind you about the Rainbow Six. We have in race number 5 today, $10,000, over $10,000 in the pool starts in race number 5. And you know, tomorrow, Pete, we have that special Monday with the Perfect 10, 10-cent wager, 10% takeout. Paid, I guess for the dime last week, $83. So there you see the Perfect 10. That's just on Mondays, $25,000 guarantee. And if they don't hit it by the final Monday that we're running here, November 17th, they give the whole thing away.
Absolutely, and $25,000 is your guaranteed insurance policy, if you will, on tomorrow's Perfect 10 wager. 10 races on the program, part of 6-day race weeks here at Gulfstream Park West the next couple of weeks.
Well, let's take a look at that race you were talking about that broke your heart, and that is the 19th feature race from yesterday, the Gin Rummy Champ, and you'll see the finish coming down here, and Pete is hanging his head because I know he had all three horses. He just didn't have it in the right order or something.
Well,
like
I actually cashed on the race, but when you're that right about a race with those three big prices, I played the 6, 7, and 8 across the board here. Full Moon's back reaching, but Mellow Fellow from off the speed, well ridden there by Rodney Sudine. This horse is fast. He can go 3/4 and 9 and change going long on the grass. Nice to see that he can relax for the Ripplewood Farm and Tim Richardson. I'll be intrigued to find out if they want to stretch him back out around 2 turns and try the tour de force on the lead, has been his MO, or if he's kind of found a home sprinting from off the speed. The turf course was very, very soft yesterday. It played interestingly. It played to closers down the outside. Now, that's nothing unusual. It's done that each and every racing day, and we'll talk about it, but that's my plan again today. Closers on the outside.
what happened with Speechify? It was hard to see if there was any trouble in there. It just didn't grab the turf?
To Speechify, to me, was ridden hard out of there at the first 1/8 of a mile, and then he just was plumb out sprinted early on, and then from there he just kind of didn't look comfortable.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was going to handle the turf in his first race back from a 9-month layoff. Well, let's look at today's first race. This one's 6 furlongs, 3 and up. Non-winners of race since April 26, $6,250. And I went with the number 2 in Defend, and you went with the 4 horse in here.
Yeah, I'm going to get his name right this time. I think his actual name is Condestable. I didn't call him that the last time, so my apologies to the connections there. I am going to bet on him in here, though. He was a $16,000 runner last time out off of a pretty good layoff. He takes a steep drop in class. Kind of disappointing to me because I think that he just had to have needed that last race, so I don't know why anybody's panicking here. This is a good spot, non-winners of the year for 62.5. I'm not sure that he wants to really sprint, but the price is going to be right. I thought this race was pretty contentious, Ronnie. I don't know about you, but I thought there was a lot of different ways to go in here. I only have 4 horses in the race, but I think that all 4 of them are, at least to me, on equal terms.
Well, we have a couple that are right, and I do not have the 4, but I do have the 2 Defend, dropping a notch after digging in to finish second to his hard-knocking horse called Karate Jack at this $8,000 level. Now, that was an $8,000 claim, excuse me. Now dropping into this condition claimer for trainer Tommy Schell and Pedro Monterey Jr. I think this drop here, a lot easier spot, ran good. Karate Jack would be 1-9 against this field, so number 2 Defend on top of my ticket, and because of our cameraman Lance, I had to have Shark Bait Ooh-Ha-Ah on my ticket. He explained to me what that was. I had no idea.
Well, you can explain it to me because I have no idea, but I do know that you're right for sure that the big drop in class, wide open claimers to time restricted claimers, I don't care what circuit you play or where you're looking at, that is one of the biggest drops in horse racing in my opinion, and it's the type of thing that unless you're really astute to that fact, it can result in some overlays and some good value in races like this. I don't think this will be the case. I think Defend goes favored, which is why I didn't put him on top.
It's one of those characters in the Disney movie while they're under the water. I forgot the name of it right now.
But I don't think it's The Little Mermaid. That's the only one I know.
Second race this afternoon.
We haven't got through one race, and we're already talking about The Little Mermaid. Happy Sunday to everybody here in South Florida.
Second race on the turf course. Turf course today is listed as firm. It was good throughout the day. Yesterday, 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf. Maiden claimants, fillies and mares, 3 and up. $12,500. The jockey on the 7 is Jonathan Gonzalez. I went with the 5 Sky Blue and Back, and you went with the number 6 horse in here.
bombs away is my strategy here. We've talked about this a couple times in South Florida. You have maiden ranks where horses repeatedly race against each other and take turns beating each other, take turns getting minor slices, and such is the case with the two favorites here, number 4 Royal Spaces and number 5 Sky Blue and Black. They're both coming out of a race where they were outrun late by a 50-1 shot from the barn of Barry Rose. I did not hold that race in very high regard. Therefore, I stayed away from horses that are coming out of that race, especially since I think they take all the action here, and this is yet another one of those patented races here at Gulfstream Park West, where to me, there's not a huge differential between the top horses and the bottom horses. So I'm going to take a price, and I'm going to make my case now with the number 6, Missy Miss. Missy Miss debuted at maiden 8 and didn't perform all that well. Beat 4 horses home while debuting at 31-1. Intriguingly, they put this horse on the turf against special weights the next time out. It was a 10-horse field. That wasn't a racing office hustle or anything. That was by design, and this horse was just outrun. She improved nicely on buyer figures, and she actually looked like she improved from a standpoint of getting beat 16 lengths to special weight versus getting beat 11 lengths to maiden 8s. The winner of that race, Wait No More, a very, very well-bred daughter of Medagladoro out of a Grade 1 mare. That race has come back pretty good. Lady Anita and Tactica Forever both coming out of that race to run okay. This is a pretty deep class drop, and I realize you have to reach a little bit, but this is a race where I think you can reach.
Well, I know at the top of the show you said you're playing outside closes on the turf today, but I looked at these past performances in this race. I put the 5 Sky Blue on Black on top, but I think I see Royal Spaces as the controlling speed in this race, the only speed in this race. So I'm thinking if this horse can get up there and maybe get nice and comfortable on the front end, yeah, if you go back and you look, I really couldn't find much more speed in here, and I think this horse, if they choose, can be on or near the front end and control everything in here. Finished ahead behind Sky Blue and Back, split foes at the 16 pole last time out. But if you look at its past performances of everybody in the race and go back a few, this horse can be somewhere on the lead. And I already owe you pancakes. This might be another pancake bet if this horse will be on or near the lead today. I used this 5 Sky Blue and Black on top. Looked like she was home free. She got nipped at the wire, as you mentioned, by the Rose piece. And then I used the 2 Red Water in there. But we will have the number 4 Royal Spaces as I think the controlling speed maybe can steal this race.
I have to comment on that. Royal Spaces is ridden by Luca Panici, who's notoriously conservative in the early go. He's not a guy who sends horses out of there. Royal Spaces has never been on the lead in her life. Maybe she does make the lead. Maybe Ronnie knows something about this. She has a big chance in here. Don't dispute that. Royal Spaces has a big chance, although I don't know that tactically her chance is best on the lead. I think that if she can use some of that tactical speed and maybe sit off some of horses who have intentions on the lead, I don't know who that is. I think that's a good point. Redwater's been in front. Redwater makes a rider switch to jockey Ashley Yotis, who's not rode many races here today. That horse will take some dough. I can see that you use that horse third as well. Yeah. This is a wide open race. I wish this race was part of a multi-leg ticket other than the double, because I think a big price wins this.
Well, we'll see how that shakes out, though. We'll know by the third race who is Speed King or not. Maybe I'm wrong in there. I just thought that way when I looked at it. The third race, 1 mile, Fillies and Mares 3 and up, $6,250. Non-winners of 2 in life. We've got a jockey change on the 7 horse. Make the rider David Baracco kill the apprentice allowance in there. I think it'll be 118 pounds. I went with the 6 in here, Roll It Gal. This one moved to the Gilberto Escobar Bon Vita claim. Coming within a neck of winning here at this level and distance. The Bond is 22% with new claims, and they keep Leroy Nelson in the saddle today. Rode for the previous connections, and I just think Roll It Gal, to me, looks like the logical choice in there. You went with the 5, Everyone Loves Me.
Yeah, I think there is very little to choose from between those two. I think the 5 will be a little bit better price, which is why I used her on top. I think the 5 and the 6 are the top plays in here. Everyone Loves Me has raced very, very well at Gulfstream Park West. Almost all of her career success has come on this racetrack. She ran well last time out for Arnie Fontanez, losing by a neck to Roll It Gal, who lost by a neck to Flash Winner, who's in later on the day. I think that tactically you'll go back to speed. I think the 6 probably gets on or near the lead with the 5 lapped onto her. There's not a lot of speed in here. 5 and 6 look tactically to have advantages here.
Yeah, and I thought the 3 who I put on my ticket to, Fee and Sugar, closed on those slow fractions last time out of 25 and 1, 49 and 2, finishing 4th behind the horse I had on top, Roll It Gal. I don't know if this one could win beating the length, but I just thought it was a real slow pace scenario last time out. And this horse ran pretty good for having, not the race shape with him. So put it on my ticket.
I don't argue that. She was 6-5 last time out. The old racetrack adage is that if you go to the wedding, you have to go to the funeral. So logic would dictate that you would use the number 3 horse in here, Fee and Sugar, if you used her the last time. Similar cast of characters here and a similar race flow. We'll see if it results in a different run.
Well, we're going to go our 4th race, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. A maiden claim is 3 and up, $20,000. Scratch the 6 Nanotech, the 8 Smash Key, and also scratch the AEs 11 and 12. Going to go back and show you a race from September 28th, and it's a Causeway Cowboy dueling through the stretch and finishing second, beating a length. And the reason I'm going to show you, beating a length by a horse that came back and ran yesterday and did not win. That was the Pletcher horse in here.
I was just going to say, I'm glad you're showing this race.
Yeah,
watch this. Vasco da Gama is this huge class dropper from Pletcher's barn, dropping down all the way to the bottom. Blew by this horse, Causeway Cowboy, who then rebids to try to catch him. Then he realized that I needed him to get up, so he politely backed off and lost 3 parts of a length. Causeway Cowboy ran very, very well that afternoon. I don't know what he ran very, very well against. If this race was yesterday, I would have been felt a lot better about it because Vasco da Gama hadn't run back. He ran back, and I didn't like the way he ran at all. He had no excuse while I think he finished third.
Yeah, he finished third.
That afternoon. This is a tough race. I think that this is a race where if you're playing multi-leg tickets, your pick 3s and your early pick 4 wager, you have to spread here. I have no less than 6 horses marked that I'm going to use in the pick 3. Full disclosure, this will be one of my larger wagers of the afternoon. I'm going to spread here. I love a horse in race 6. He won't pay anything, but this is how you get value in this game. You get prices here onto a heavy favorite and still get a couple of dollars with the old repeat ticket function on the end.
Well, you know, Jane Sibeli trains the 2-horse Causeway Cowboy, and she also trains the horse that you have on top of your ticket, and that's the 10 Dude About Town.
Yeah, this is a jockey play for me. Jane Sibeli has been doing very, very good things. Leandro Gonsalves takes the call. Throw a line through that last race, 1.5 miles on the dirt. Off the turf event that afternoon for Dude About Town. That's not what he wants to do. That's not what he came to Penn National last time to do. He came to Penn National to run third 2 starts ago against maiden special weights. Any of his runs at Presque Isle or Penn National win this. I would actually say that even though Beyer-wise it was not his best race, his best career race of his life came first time out at Tampa, losing to Category and Redneck Humor in the wintertime. So this horse is long overdue to win a race. He's taking a drop in class, and I think that's exactly what they're going for.
Well, the 4 Bright Face, who we both have on our tickets, drop into this $20,000 level after showing promise on the turf, albeit in a trio of well-spaced outings on the turf, was second beaten ahead. That was against $40,000 maidens. It was at Gulfstream, but that was back in March. Then comes back a little later on, runs a 6, going 6 furlongs on the Belmont turf. That was in June. And that other race just seems that this horse, they have good things about it, but it just can't seem to get it to the races all the time.
This is weird to me. Trainer Bertrell Vaz does not usually get horses from Giuseppe I. Decernia, and Giuseppe I. Decernia is not going to let go of anything that has the potential to break a maiden and maybe win a non-2. Looks like this horse is definitely good enough on his best stuff. The question is he going to bring his best stuff? I think if you're playing multi-leg tickets, you have to use him at least on some of them. I also think you have to use the 7 horse, who's kind of the wise guy play today, Edge of Midnight, who's been laid up since being claimed from trainer Bill Mott. Moves to the barn of Dallas Keene for the Midwest Thoroughbreds. Those folks are doing very, very well. Dallas has got a couple of horses for Richard and Karen Papis. That's the Midwest Thoroughbred connection, and they've run very, very well. They had Gray Day Lover, a maiden off a similar layoff, who came flying full of run to be second. They also had the gray horse the other day. I forget his name. He won the race.
Yeah,
though.
I remember the name. I don't remember the name, but it was a good performance.
So the point is that the Dallas Keene can get horses ready off a layoff. You actually have flat bet profits at both the layoff and first-time claim categories for Dallas Keene. Juan Leyva rides here this afternoon. I think this horse will take a little more money than he should, but he's definitely a horse to use.
Let's go to our 5th race, 6 furlongs. Maiden claim is fillies, 2-year-olds, $25,000. And I went with the number 6 in here, Chet Hills. This kicks off our Rainbow 6. And you went with the number 3 horse in here, Climate Change.
Yeah, I did. Fresh face here for trainer Stanley Gold. Goes to Jesus Rios, which is quite all right with me. 5/8 of a mile drill last time, the best of 7 that afternoon. Anytime you go 5/8 in a minute flat with a couple of works to go, 3/8 and 35. This horse is working well. Should have some speed in here. If Exclusive Symphony is not as fast as this horse, could find himself in a pretty good spot. If he breaks well, he can lap onto the 1 horse if the 1's too fast, or he can just clear the 1. Again, that's the gamble if this horse can break well, but when Jesus Rios is riding, I don't worry about that. This is another race that, for me, there was a lot of different ways to go in here. Your horse, Chad Hills, makes a lot of sense. The thing about that is he's losing his rider. Clearly, that's what happened here. They spun the 6 to get on the 1, who they just finished second by a neck.
Yeah, I put that in my analysis today that Chad Hill's dropping at 10,000. We're ringing blinkers today, which I think is going to help this horse. Stalked 4 wide, finished third against $35,000 types last out. As you mentioned, Ramsey Zimmerman's going to ride today. Edgard's going to stick with the 1. I mean, that's who he rides for first call most of the time. Mike Petro. So we'll see how that plays out. I just thought the blinkers was going to help this horse. I think he ran well. He tried a little tougher last time out. Now going back to the $25,000 level and dueling with Exclusive Symphony. Street Princess. If all these crazy things happen, this is a late striding type, and he might end up closing and getting it done. He certainly has the connections to come from off the pace with the trainer. That's how he trains his horse, Bill Kaplan.
Yeah, she ran really, really well last time. She was shown open racetrack and made a ton of late ground under Juan Leyva. I used her as well. I also used the 5-horse here, Nora's Music. Nora's Music, second time starts for David Fox. That's a flatbed profit of $1.20 for every $2 you bet with a 320 ROI. Jonathan Gonzalez and this filly got acquainted last time out. She was 5 wide into the lane and finished well to be 4th behind some of these horses, Chad Hills and Exclusive Symphony. I think she takes a step forward today. And again, if you're a multi-leg player, the strategy here will be spread in this race and then single up in the next, which we'll get to now. This is the bet of the day. She'll pay nothing, but this also is a good anchor in your pick 6, pick 5, and pick 3 wagers. Well,